Brazil are out. Not eliminated in the group stage. Not knocked out on penalties. Beaten, outright, in the round of 16, by a country that had not played at a World Cup in 28 years. For 90 minutes, Norway had an answer for everything Brazil threw at them. And when it mattered most, they had a player Brazil simply could not stop. Erling Haaland. Norway, a country of 5.6 million people, going up against a nation of over 200 million. How does a country disappear for 28 years, then return by knocking out Brazil? Now rewind 25 years. The man coaching this Norway team is lying on a training pitch. His heart has stopped. For roughly 7 minutes, he is clinically dead. This is the story of how that man's second life became Brazil's elimination. But this is not a story about destiny. Norway did not win because the script demanded it. They won because for the first time in decades, they finally matched their talent with structure, patience, tactical discipline, and one ruthless decision, saving Haaland for the match that actually mattered. Norway had been to the World Cup 3 times before this one: 1938, 1994, 1998, then nothing. For 28 years, Norway was good enough to talk about and never good enough to show up. Their last real breakthrough in 1998 started the same way this one did, by beating Brazil. A 2-1 win in the group stage sent them into the knockouts for the first time. They lost the next match to Italy and didn't come back for 28 years. One of the players on that 1998 squad was a young midfielder named Ståle Solbakken. 3 years later, his career ended, not the way anyone expects. March 2001, Ståle Solbakken is on a training pitch playing club football. Mid-session, he collapses. The club doctor reaches him first. No pulse. CPR starts immediately and doesn't stop until the ambulance arrives. At the scene, he is declared clinically dead. Roughly 7 minutes pass. Then his heart starts again. Doctors find a condition no one had ever caught. He never plays again. He carries a pacemaker in his chest to this day. A story like that usually ends there. A career cut short. A name that fades. 20 years later, Ståle Solbakken walks back onto a football pitch, not as a player, as the head coach of Norway. December 2020. Solbakken takes the job. No World Cup history to lean on, no recent success to point to. But he has one name: Erling Haaland. In the same year Solbakken's playing career ended, Alf Inge Haaland's Norway career was ending too. 34 caps, a World Cup in 1994. His last game for Norway came in 2001, the same year Solbakken's heart stopped. 2 decades later their stories met again, not through Alf Inge, through his son. Now the son was leading the line his father once wore, and he wasn't just playing for Norway, he was the reason Norway believed again.
Norway tore through qualifying. Haaland scored at a ridiculous rate, punching their ticket with a 4-1 win over Italy. Away days, home nights, it didn't matter. This didn't look like a plucky underdog anymore. It looked like a team that belonged. This was no longer just Haaland and hope. Odegaard was there. Premier League players were there. Bundesliga players, Serie A players. For the first time in decades, Norway had more than a star, it had a spine. For the first time in almost 30 years, Norway wasn't hoping to qualify. It was expected to, but none of it mattered unless Norway could take that structure into the kind of match that used to expose them, the kind of match Brazil always seemed built to win. Norway's first real test wasn't Brazil, it was restraint.
In the final group match, Norway had already qualified. So had their opponent, France. Everyone wanted to see it. Haaland against Kylian Mbappe, 2 of the defining scorers of their generation, meeting for the first time at a World Cup. Solbakken didn't let it happen. He rotated heavily, resting Haaland and several key starters. Fans in the stands chanted his name anyway. Norway lost, 4-1. Critics called it a mistake. Solbakken called it math. Don't risk your best player in a match that decides nothing. That decision looked reckless until the 86th minute of the next round. While Solbakken took the criticism, the fans were building something else entirely. Around them, the country built a ritual too. The rowing chant, arms moving together, voices rising together. It wasn't organized by the federation, it came from the stands themselves, ordinary fans deciding this team was worth a ritual of its own. By the World Cup, it wasn't just a chant anymore, it was Norway's identity in the stands. The team was building a system, the fans were building an identity. Both were about to be tested on the same night. Norway's first knockout match was Côte d'Ivoire. Tied 1-1 deep into the second half, extra minutes ticking away. Norway searching for something to break the deadlock. Minute 86. Haaland meets a cross from Sander Berge. Ball in the net. 2-1. The gamble from the France match, resting his best player, had just delivered a knockout round winner. Next up, Brazil. On paper, this wasn't close. Brazil, 5 World Cups. Norway, a team that had never won a knockout match at this tournament, never gone past the round of 16. Kickoff arrives with the weight of 28 years behind it. Then the whistle blew. Norway's goalkeeper, Orjan Nyland, saves a penalty from Guimaraes. Pulls off one save after another. Brazil pushes. Norway holds. Chances come. Chances go. The clock keeps moving. The scoreline doesn't. Minute after minute, the upset everyone expected to collapse just doesn't. Minute 79, one cross, one jump. Haaland above everyone. Header. Goal. Minute 89. 10 minutes later, before Brazil could find a way back, he hit them again. A strike from distance. Goal. 2 goals, 10 minutes apart from one player. From the man whose father wore this shirt when the last World Cup story ended. Neymar scores a stoppage time penalty. For a moment, hope flickers around Brazil's bench. It doesn't last. The whistle goes. Brazil is out. Neymar, Brazil's record scorer, leaves with one last World Cup goal and the ending he never wanted. The last time Norway beat Brazil at a World Cup, in 1998, it was enough to reach the knockouts, nothing more. 28 years later, beating Brazil again sent them further than they'd ever been. Haaland leaves the match with 7 World Cup goals in his first tournament, right in the middle of the Golden Boot race. He was already Norway's all-time record scorer, with the World Cup quarterfinal still ahead of him. This was not one golden night, it was 28 years of absence, a coach who had been given a second life, a generation that finally had enough talent to believe, a decision that looked cowardly until it looked brilliant, and a striker who turned all of it into a result Brazil could not escape. Next up, the quarterfinal England, Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, another team with its own system, its own stars, and its own pressure. We don't know how that one ends, but this is no longer a surprise story. It's a system, and systems get tested again.
If you want more stories like this, the systems behind the sport, not just the scoreline, subscribe. We're finding a new one every week.